It took Shaquille O'Neal 3 years to finally sell his $28 million mansion. Here's why no one wanted it, and why he settled for less than half of the initial asking price. Shaq's 31,000 square foot estate was by Lake Butler, which was just outside Orlando. And it was initially put up for sale in 2018, just a couple of years after he retired and started working for TNT. It had been his home since 1993, when he bought it for only $3.95 million as a rookie for the Orlando Magic, and initially had an area of 23,000 square feet, aside from spending millions in renovations to get it up to 31,000 square feet. It's where all 5 of his kids grew up, and the place Shaq used to call home for most of his 19-year career. So you can tell this home meant a lot to him. He even gave his home's backyard a nickname, so listing it at $28 million wasn't really that bad of a stretch, considering everything that came with it. So why didn't anyone want to buy it? Why did Shaq have to relist a home this huge 5 different times, just to ultimately settle for a price of $11 million? You see, the biggest problem for this crib was that it was too much for Shaq. He spent so much money personalizing the home that the only people who could live in it were people who were as big and as tall as him. In fact, the only reason the home did get sold was because the last real estate agent had most of the personalized Shaq amenities taken down. Go ahead, try to find an estate with a 15-foot deep swimming pool that's 95 feet long and has 2 custom fish tanks, one with an Egyptian-themed fish tank, and the other was inspired after Shaq made an appearance on the show Tanked. And if you think the big diesel references inside this home end there, you'd be wrong. Now let's take a closer look at the kind of home you could have bought it if you had $11 million lying around a few years ago. The mansion has 12 bedrooms, each with a view of Lake Butler, 11 bathrooms, a recording studio from what's probably from Shaq's rap career in the 90s, a 1,400 square foot cigar and wine bar room, a custom home theater with 10 reclining seats. And of course, a Shaq-themed home would not be complete if it didn't have multiple Superman statues by the entrance and near his 17-car garage. It has its own indoor basketball court by the basement with the Miami Heat logo in the middle, a bleacher section, and frames of Shaq's basketball achievements. If you weren't into basketball or even a fan of Shaq, all of it would just be too awkward to live in. Luckily for Shaq, he doesn't have to worry about this multi-million-dollar problem anymore. And since he initially spent just a shade under $4 million for this luxury home, Shaq actually came out with a decent profit.